very first time I ever went ghost hunting was with Miss Hale. We went in the middle of the night illegally to a cemetery. Mm-hmm. And do you remember what we did actually find something?
We got an EVP.
We got an EVP, but I believe it was in German, right? Wasn't it in German?
I think it was. I think because we didn't understand what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got an EVP that night.
So you guys just like hanging out. Let's go break in someplace and investigate it.
Well,
had there been a plan brewing for a couple weeks?
I don't think that we would say that we committed any crimes doing so.
Well,
I mean,
not us. We'd never do such a thing as that.
Back it up. There weren't gates closed and we broke in that way or anything like that. It's open, but you're not supposed to be in there at night. Right. And we kind of parked the vehicle down a little hill. And then
so we couldn't be seen.
So we couldn't be seen. And then when cars would come by, we were like, "Oh, shh, don't say anything," And then we'd have to get down. Yeah, I mean, it was like being a teenager playing ghosts in the graveyard or something like that.
Mm. Yeah, because I have never broken into any place in my entire life.
Well, look at you.
Okay.
It must be nice to be so good.
Right.
We're just not going to talk about it. No, I will say I've never broken into any place to do a paranormal investigation.
Okay, well, now there's clarification.
There's clarification there.
Yeah.
I will say that, while we weren't supposed to be there, it's not like we were causing any criminal damage to property. We were just in that area talking, recording, checking things out, that kind of thing. In his defense, in all the major real buildings that he has paranormally investigated, Todd has had permission to do so.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
The only place, well, there probably was more, but...
That you broke into?
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here comes the story of the week.
So I was working as a teller at the dog track here in town. It has since closed. And after work, a bunch of people came over to my house. There was about 12 or 15 of us. And I lived by this amusement park that now looks like a ghost park because some of the things are still there, but, weeds have grown up and it's been empty for years. But I walk my dog by the park every day, and I knew how you could get into the park after hours. It was super easy. You just had to go underneath this bridge, and you'd be in. Because one day I crawled down there, and I'm like, seems to me you could just go underneath this bridge, wade through the shallow water, and you're into Joyland. And so I mentioned that, and everybody's like, let's do it. It's 2 a.m, and I'm like, no.
And there was drinking involved, if I remember the story correctly.
There was drinking involved. I thought so. We went ahead and we broke on in, but we didn't break in. We just walked in. There was this under the bridge way to get in. And I'm like, it's kind of their fault for making it so easy. I mean, if
that's what I thought about the cemetery too. It's their fault. They didn't lock the place up. I'm going.
I don't have dates. Come on.
Yeah, they could have put some barbed wire fencing on the other side of the bridge to keep people out, but they didn't. And
they probably didn't think people were going to slosh through the water to get in.
It wasn't even that deep. So we broke in, and we ended up, and because I've talked about this before, but every one of us, when we got back to my house, was bleeding. We had all gotten injured somewhere along the way. Every one of us. But what was crazy is like some of the kids' rides, we just flipped them on and they're on. We're like, what the hell?
Wow.
Like, and of course, nobody like sat down on the kids' rides. They stood up like they were surfing on the kids' rides, that was some of the injuries there.
I was just going to say that explains where some of the blood came from, right?
Yeah. I was bleeding like everyone was bleeding when we got back. It was quite an adventure, but we did no paranormal investigations while we were there.
How old were you when you did this?
I was in my 30s.
That makes it even better.
Carol, I just want to let you know, ABC is on the line with me right now. They want to do an after-school special about not doing this kind of stuff.
Yes, and how that's a really good idea because you could end up bloody and hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to share that with everybody. You can end up hurt. So
I love
so
that
don't
this
do
happened
that.
while you were in your 30s and your full
Oh yeah,
your full frontal
I was
cortex
at
had
college. I
developed.
had 2 college degrees by that point. Like, this is a great idea. Let's do it. And I'm like, no, you guys. Of course, I didn't want to, but yeah, it was pretty funny.
Peer pressure.
This week on a very special Blossom.
Peer pressure. Well, let's listen to a ghost story, shall we? That's where you guys go. Yeah. Can't
Yes,
wait.
yes.
Yes,
let's
here
do
we
it.
go.
Okay,
Here we
go.
go. Yay.
My name is Linda, and I live in Indiana. And my daughter has turned me on to your show, and I really, really, really like it. Thank you for being there. My story actually took place in about 1969. We were living at my grandmother's house, which was not a happy place to be. She was a evil woman. And there were always things going on there. Always. There was always, I would hear sounds. It was just an ongoing thing. But one particular night, my girlfriend Debbie was spending the night with me. Nobody was home. My dad was out, God knows where. I didn't have a mom at the time. She was dead already. And the grandmother was gone for the weekend by her daughter's house, which was a wonderful thing. So Debbie spent the night with me. And it was a Sunday night because I remember the Sunday newspaper used to be like 5 inches thick. And we used to set it on the hassock in the front room. And we had gone to bed. We were chit-chatting and telling stories and stuff in my room. And we heard the front door open. Now, this was about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. We heard the front door open, and we can hear the weather stripping. It was a very old wooden door, heavy, and it has a very distinct sound when it's opened. It just swipes that weather stripping, and there's no mistaking it. And then we heard it close, and I thought, oh, Debbie, my dad's home. Pretend you're sleeping, because I can predict what he's going to do. He's going to come in, and he's going to open the door, and he's going to say, hey, are you sleeping? That was his way of maybe checking up on me to see if I was alive and breathing. You know, that was all I knew my dad to do with being a lovable dad. So we waited and waited and waited, and he didn't come in. Another distinct sound my dad would make was his knees would crack. His knees would crack, and he would lay his keys on the glass buffet that was right there in the dining room. Well, we didn't hear either one of those things. And I thought, that's odd. Then all of a sudden we heard a big boom in the front room. And we're like, what was that? So we waited about a good 5 minutes. He never poked the door open and checked on us. Never. So we thought, well, we better go out there and see what that noise is all about and who came in. Well, when we went out to the front room, lo and behold, first thing we saw was the Sunday newspaper was on the floor, and a couple of sections were out of place. It had been sitting on the hassock. The front door was locked. No keys were on the buffet. My dad's car wasn't there. No one came home. So we don't know till this day. We still talk about it. We still bring it up. We don't know what it was. We definitely heard the door, definitely heard the paper. I don't know if it was a sign from my mom or something, because my mom and my grandmother did not get along. And probably fortunate for my mom, she's in heaven and she didn't have to put up with my grandmother. But that's my story, and I do have others, and they mostly pertain to that house. So I will be calling in or writing in a couple more stories, and I hope you do play this one. And thank you. I love your show.
I would like to hear more stories because obviously other things happened other than that. But how brave were they to get up and go investigate? I don't know that I could have. But they did. And if it's not Dad, who is it?
Well, that's the thing, right? And I've had, when my mom passed away, like either before or right after she passed away, there was a lot of weird stuff that kind of happened in my house and my sister's houses. And one of the things that happened to me was that I was in bed. My bedroom's at the very top of the stairs, and it's an older house. So I know if somebody is, walking up the stairs, it's obvious. I was in bed with my dog, and I clearly heard somebody walking up the stairs. Now I thought it was, the people I lived with. And so I was expecting them to come up the stairs and say, hi, we're home or whatever. And there was nobody there. My dog actually perked up and looked too, because I swear there was 1 or 2 people walking up that staircase. So, what do? I mean, do you stay in bed or do you go check and see if there's somebody in the house? I don't know.
Yeah, because I think like living by myself, there's been more than one time that I have to go investigate something.
Right.
Because I don't know what it is. And you can't just lay there and be like, I don't want to know. Because there's a reason something crashed. And I did have to smile because I'd totally forgotten how big the Sunday paper used to be. But if it fell off something, you would hear it. It would have been a thud. Because those Sunday papers back in the day, those were huge.
And heavy.
Yeah.
And heavy. At least 7 sections with 20 pages each. So, yeah.
So I think it's interesting that everything sounded like Dad, but wasn't Dad and was nobody. I find that interesting because something was trying to get their attention and they both heard it.
Was it just his residual energy? I know he wasn't dead, but sometimes we talk about whether or not we can haunt things, even though we're not dead.
Right.
Like our energy
this weird time warpy thing. It's a glitch.
That's where my mind goes like right away. Like it was his energy that was making that stuff happen.
Well, and it sounded just like him. She's like, oh, it's Dad. He's going to pop in here next and be like, you asleep? That's how much it was like Dad. She was just waiting for him to pop in the room.
Right.
Now, here's another thought. What if it was, and I know this sounds far-fetched, but I really think that there are dimensions that we do not have access to where other things are going on. For example, I believe that there's another Lisa somewhere in another dimension sitting there. Seriously, there's another Lisa in another dimension having a conversation with her friends Carol and Todd about ghost stories somewhere, okay? Or she's sitting there, talking to her cat. The thing is there's somebody there. So what if it was like from another dimension crossing over? He had come home in that dimension and it just kind of bled over. It's just a thought on how they're so paper thin between
whose cat is screaming in the background?
I'm sorry, that is Jack. That is Jack. I tried to pet him to get him to shut up, and he would. That's Captain Jack. He screams a lot. I'm sorry.
I was like, that ain't my cat. My cat's over here sound asleep, being an angel.
Jack, shush. I'm so sorry.
Well, the thing is you should take the Marlboros away from him because it's obvious he smokes too.
He's got such a rasp. Shh, be quiet. And he's. I don't know if you can see him behind me. I
can see him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's back there. He's gonna if he keeps.
Watch out! Watch out!
He'll get in the corner and he'll put his face in the corner and just meow as loud as he can into the corner. He's a special needs cat.
I caught one of my cats doing that today. I was like, "What are you doing?"
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Just meowing in the corner, and that echoes back to him for some reason.
Must be some nice acoustics, and they're singing like people sing in the shower. It's like the acoustics are so good in this corner.
I'm just going to sit in the corner and
going
scream.
to meow here.
He's singing the song of his people. That's all I know.